All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. Look, we have breaking NFL news. Crazy stuff coming out of Detroit. A true end of an era. The Detroit Lions and Matthew Stafford have agreed to mutually part ways. I almost can't even wrap my head around it. All right. Matthew Stafford is Detroit Lions. Like, he is Lions football. One of my favorite players in the league. I've always loved Matthew Stafford, and it's going to be insane to see him playing for another team. But look, this is smart for both teams involved. Real quick, before I actually hop into this news and whatnot, I do want to clarify this. This isn't some bad blood situation. It's not like Matthew Stafford is pounding on the table saying, "Get me out of here right now." It's not a Deshaun Watson situation in the least. All right. It's a mutual agreement to part ways, right? To go their separate ways. As we all know, Detroit, this is a team right now that's going to be going into a full rebuild, a necessary full rebuild. This is a team that needs stability. They just brought in a brand new general manager. They brought in a brand new coaching staff as well with Dan Campbell. By the way, they actually just hired Anthony Lynn like 15-20 minutes ago here. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. But look, the Lions, this is a team right now, they're kind of stuck in no man's land. They're not bad enough to get like a top 5 pick, but they're not good enough to make the playoffs. And they're always falling short. Matt Patricia, took a team that was kind of in the middle, right? Like, they could be playoffs, like a consistent playoff team, or they could be bad, and he just drove them right into the ground. All right, this team need a fresh start. They need to replenish the roster. Luckily for them, they actually have a top 10 pick in this upcoming draft, so that's going to be huge. I can't wait to see what happens there. Possibly a Trey Lance at this point. Who knows? We'll see. But look, it's going to suck to say goodbye to Stafford. The things that he has done for this Lions team, it's truly remarkable. I don't have enough good things to say about Matthew Stafford. He's one of my favorites. And it almost feels like he's, I don't want it to sound like, he's retiring or, he's done playing. That's probably how it's coming across. But it's just going to be nuts to see a different guy at quarterback for the Lions, man. Absolutely crazy. I know the Lions fans feel me on that. I've got two really good friends of mine, Kyle and Tyler, huge Lions fans. Like, they bleed blue and silver. But man, we're gonna see what happens. But as far as Stafford's best fits are concerned, I would say number one, the one that just jumps right off the page, is the Indianapolis Colts. Phillip Rivers just retired. They don't have that solid answer there. I like Jacoby Brissett. I like Jacob Eason. But when you're talking about Matthew Stafford, bringing Stafford into Indianapolis, that's an instant 12-win team. Especially in the AFC South, which is a completely wide open division, with Houston completely on the decline, right? So it's Tennessee, that's definitely a tough out, and then of course Jacksonville, a rebuilding team, obviously the worst team in the league this season. So I think Stafford to the Indianapolis Colts makes a ton of sense. You can get a nice trade package back in return. Man, that makes a lot of sense. Another team that kind of pops up as well is the Washington football team. I really think Washington makes a lot of sense for Matthew Stafford. Yes, this is a 7-9 football team, but when you look at the roster, when you look at the injuries, when you look at essentially the turnstile at quarterback that team had to deal with this season, I mean, think about all the guys that played QB for them this past year, and they still managed to get to the playoffs and push Tampa Bay to the absolute limit. Alex Smith, Kyle Allen, Dwayne Haskins, Heineke, like, this is a team right now that essentially they had no down the field passing attack. They checked it down all the time. They ran the ball and checked it down. They played really good defense. They have a great coaching staff in place. The division is, let's be honest, it's not that good. Matthew Stafford can easily walk into Washington and win the division next season and get to the playoffs once again. I really like the culture that Ron Rivera is bringing to Washington. That defense is young, it's hungry, it's up and coming. I think Washington makes a ton of sense as well. And the one thing that we do have to remember about Matthew Stafford, understand rather, is this isn't like a Phillip Rivers situation where he left San Diego and went to the Colts and it was like a 1-year kind of bridge, or like a 1 to 2 years max with Rivers. Like, Rivers only had like one year left of gas in the tank, and that was it. With Stafford, this was a guy who was picked in 2009. yes, he's dealt with some injuries and he hasn't really had the best of luck in Detroit, but he is still extremely capable of playing high caliber football. He's in his early 30s, 32, I think. Matthew Stafford is definitely still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I'm not saying he's top 5, top 6 or 7 or 8, but put Matthew Stafford on a win now team and watch that team rise. All right. I think it makes both sense. I think it makes a lot of sense for both parties involved, Stafford and the Lions. I cannot wait to see not only what the Lions are going to be getting in return for Matthew Stafford, but what direction this franchise goes from here. Are they going to address the quarterback position in the draft? Are they going to wait a season? Who knows what's going to happen? I'm pumped for Lions football. I cannot wait to watch, but it's truly in the end of an era. Stafford's one of my favorite players because of how he performed and all of the great things that he did for Detroit. So I'll leave it there. Lions fans, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. I know this is extremely hard news because he is like the heartbeat of your team, but at the end of the day, I do think it's necessary for both parties involved. So I'll leave it there. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for sticking with the channel. And as always, go Jets.